dramatic race last weekend here at Bahrain. Amy Shelly dominated the entire race, leading lap to lap as she took the checkered flag for the first time in the 2018 season. Rookie sensation Kotsa Masalela fell short of the second place spot after a failed pit strategy led him to finishing outside the points. He's heading into this weekend. Lilia Severodov has been getting a 10th-place grid penalty after intentionally wrecking Chica Balcazar later in the race after contact with the ladder. Balcazar in a post-race interview said she was not at all impressed by the driving of Lilia Severodov, that she expected more respect out of Severodov. Severodov had no comment on the matter. In other news, Spain will be relocated to the controversial Circuito de Malaga, the track that nearly took the life of Hiroki Kazi in 2017. Much to the dismay of many teams and safety officials, Malaga has been modified to at least fit the safety of all drivers and crews alike. Especially that tire barrier was a very dangerous spot for that incident to happen in turn 1 between the Mazda Speed and the Toyota Racing unit. But without further ado, let's get on to our starting grid for the Belkan Grand Prix. The front row has been completely lined out by Amy Shelly and Nick Mueller for Rainbow West Motors. Akio Matsumura and Cosmic Nova line up 3rd and 4th, Matsumura being the points leader heading into this race. San Lorenzo and Tomas Saranen will be lining up in 5th and 6th place. Hopefully their start can get better as well. And Bobby Jones and Mariah Yerman with a surprising 7th and 8th place qualifying effort. Let's see if they can maintain that through the race. Robert Adams and Mario Sa rounding up your top 10. Kotsa Masalela and Lilia Severodov with that quick grid penalty. She could have lined up on the outside front row, but to no avail. Carson Davids and Scott Roush, 13th and 14th. Hopefully Roush can find some luck in scoring some points today. Kylan Lucis and Daniel Conway, 15th and 16th place. Joe Yaname and Rebecca Davies with a less than stellar qualifying effort compared to their teammates. Jack Hamilton and Christopher Cox, 19th and 20th. It's a bit of a struggle for Red Bull so far in qualifying. Same goes for Spencer Fullerton and Chica Balcazar. Balcazar's qualifying efforts have been very lackluster throughout the year. Maddie Petit and Moshe Ben-Gurion, 23rd and 24th. Good qualifying effort from Petit. Hiroki Kazi and Jose Antonio Martini, 20th and 26th. Kielshin and Latte Cascola. Long Swat, barricaded, and your last row, Rasmussen and Michael Curtin. Now let's head down to the Belkan Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go here for the Belkan Grand Prix. Shelly gets off to a nice start. It looks like Saranen and Nova try to force a 3, maybe 4 wide entering turn 1, but they thought better of it as the field fans out 3 abreast in a couple of cars. Are trying to settle themselves out right now as they head into turn 2. But Shelly, with a big head of steam, going to try to pull away from the rest of the grid as they duke it out for position. The Streets of Dinsmark is one of the most dangerous street circuits that the Formula X calendar has provided them for this year. These guys are lapping this 3.02 mile racetrack in just about under 1 minute 10 seconds. And then the speed trap, they're going about an excess of 200 miles an hour. Just goes to show how high the stakes are, at least for the risk of injury, because these are concrete barriers. They need to be really concerned of how they're racing each other if any incident were to occur on this racetrack. But it seems that the field seems to have filed up singly, in a single file, nicely, and Shelly will lead the first lap without a problem. Matsumura and Lorenzo will follow suit. Lorenzo, again, being in place of Paul Schneider suspended. Meanwhile, Michael Curtin with a bit of a problem on lap 3 as he gets into Kevin Rasmussen. He will go over twice and a quarter, and the stewards are not going to take kindly to that. They're giving Curtin a penalty. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me there. Curtin will come down pit road and rejoin in lap 6. Shelly got by Curtin without a problem, but Curtin is going to be a problem to these leaders because the lapped cars in the past have not been friendly, and as we see Lorenzo nearly getting into the 28 as I say that. So that's going to allow Mueller to maybe try to overtake him from 3rd. Meanwhile, Cosmic Nova, heading to turn 4, nearly runs into the 28. Nova is known to be somebody who likes to wreck a lot of lapped cars in the LES, and we better hope he get his behavior together in Formula X, otherwise that's going to get him in a lot of trouble with the stewards. Though I don't doubt, yep, and Nova gives him one finger salute. Why does that not surprise me? Yeah, Nova would hopefully need to get his act together if he wants to keep his ride in BMW Team Deutschland, and so far he's done just that with that maiden victory last weekend. Meanwhile, Masalello getting held up by the very slow, annoying Mazda, as here comes Mario Saw for what I believe is inside the top 12, top 15. This is 11th place, actually, if I remember correctly. This battle is getting a little tense for my liking. Lewis is trying to go around Saw on the outside line, but that's not going to work in the last corner. Again, this is on lap 7 or 8 now. Oh, keep it together, guys, please. And yeah, passing here is almost impossible at this racetrack because once the tires have heated up, you can't really do much of anything with overtaking on this racetrack. And this really doesn't help when cars are getting bunched up. They're really starting to file in. Curtin, please get out of the way. Oh, looks like the Red Bull of Davis was trying to pull through here. And watch out, Saw, watch out, Saw! Oh, there we go. And Saw comes down into Yaname. We're going to have another look at that. I think Saw just got tired of getting held up. And, well, yeah, that just caused him wreck into his teammate and Carson Davids. And I'm surprised the steer was a little bit more lenient on that penalty, but a little questionable if you ask me. We'll just have to see how this race goes. And Lucis is very frustrated about this wreck as well. On the next lap, Chica Belkazar would run him right over. Pretty characteristic of Belkazar's driving. If you don't get out of the way, she will move you out of the way for him. And also a lenient penalty for Belkazar, but that's going to give a lot of damage to the Diago Power. Diago Power does not need this if they're going to try to contend for Monaco later in the year. Spencer Fullerton with a daring overtake on the inside. Rebecca Davies tried to force that 3 wide, but Davies had to back out because of Michael Curtin. Lost all that momentum on the exit of turn 1. She's going to overtake Curtin eventually into turn 3. Meanwhile, Jack Hamilton would spin himself into the wall, and that's going to do him in for the race, as that car is heavily damaged. Lafitte Formula Racing's off to a bad start. Oh, that's a little embarrassing. Nico Laticascola getting caught up in Lafitte's troubles, and surprisingly nobody else hits him. That's going to allow Hamilton to fall out of the race. Michael Curtin, a few laps later, wrecks himself again. Now, this is on lap 17, and on the following lap, lap 18, he limps it around the racetrack where the leaders are going to come around to lap him. Oh, this is a dangerous spot. The last 2 corners, this is not where you want to be. Curtin, please. Oh no, Mueller's run him over. Oh, this is bad. So is Nova. Nova's going to hit the pit wall. Oh, wow, and I think Saranen is involved as well. Well, that was a disaster waiting to happen. Stewards are not liking that at all. And yeah, Mueller just had nowhere to go in this one. And Nova miraculously doesn't run head on into the pit wall. Either way, that's going to take Nova out of the race and Mueller out of contention for points. And a steward's inquiry was issued to the 28 team for dangerous driving. That's a little more than dangerous driving, if you ask me. By lap 20, Amy Shelly and Akio Matsumura are going to come down pit road. Lorenzo and Saranen will stay out, or will opt to stay out one more lap. They're thinking that an overcut strategy will do them better in the long run. Robert Adams, Hiroki Kazi, Daniel Conway, Lilia Severodov, and Scott Roush will also follow suit. A few other drivers will follow suit, and yeah, there's a Red Bull of Christopher Cox coming in as well. Some drivers are opting for the undercut, others with the overcut strategy. The pit window is around 21 laps. Meanwhile, a botched pit stop by San Lorenzo would delegate him well outside the top 10. So another disastrous stop by Diago Power will once again bog them down and trying to regain points that they don't have. They're still sitting at negative 15 points in the Constructors' Championship as it stands. It's been a very rough start to the year for them after Paul Schneider's shenanigans at Australia a couple races ago. And Sabina Kielshin on lap 26 is going to blow the motor. She was running in 15th place, Nothing compared to her teammate Mariah Yermansel, who was running third at this time. And Kielshin will park it just outside of pit road in the exit of turn 1. Nobody is going to hit her, thankfully. Tough break for Kielshin, though. She was definitely going to have a good weekend going until this happened. Speaking of, Yermansel is running in third place. This is really good performance of Yermansel. I think this is her second year in Formula X competition. She ran previously with Volkswagen, if I recall correctly, and now she's over with the Stuttgart United Mercedes. They're usually known for fast racetracks like this one. At least they have really good pace on tracks like this one. And that's Robert Adams sitting in 4th position, so a really good race for both cars. Saarinen is, I believe, back there behind them in 5th place. He had to get that side pod damage repaired on pit road. Meanwhile, Barrichello getting himself in trouble with Rasmussen. And, oh, wow. He didn't like how Rasmussen was driving him, so I don't know about that one. What? Okay. I don't understand that one. And Lorenzo, again, making more mistakes. He's trying to charge his way through the grid and runs into the 12 of Rebecca Davies. And that's not going to help his points efforts at all, now is it? Now, this is an interesting strategy call. On the end of lap 38, Amy Shelly has opted to come in for an undercut strategy. This is pretty conventional of Raven West. We're going to have to see where she comes out of pit stops. And about 3 laps later, she comes out 6 seconds ahead of Matsumura. Now, the question is that can she actually hold out to the end of the race with enough fuel to finish? Well, that's kind of hard to say. We are now on to lap number 51 or 52 of 62 in this race. With how uneventful this race has. There hasn't been a lot of overtakes for the most part, despite how fast this racetrack is. And now Matsumura is under half a second on the 1 car. Defending Drivers' Champion hopefully needs to pick up the pace if she's going to have a chance of winning this race. This is going to be a very tough battle between her and Matsumura in the coming to the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. Now, I do wonder if Shelly's going to try to take the points lead after this race. Because, wait a second, what's going on here? Don't tell me. No. Oh my god. Raven West once again with a faulty strategy call. That's going to not only cost Shelly the race, but also the win. Oh my god. Come on, guys. Get it together. Well, that was rough. Meanwhile, Mueller, on lap 55, runs into Barrichello. It seems that Barrichello was just slowing down much sooner than Mueller. Mueller didn't have time to react. Again? Okay, but I don't understand the stewards' reasoning behind penalizing Barrichello. But, sure. Lap 57 now. It appears that, Robert Adams... Oh, problems for Adams! Problems for the number 9 from 5th. And this is a complete disaster for SNK United. And now it's all going to have to depend on teammate Scott Roush to pick up the pieces. And they're saying it is a fuel leak that's going to cause Adams to retire from the Belkan Grand Prix. This is just most unfortunate. Meanwhile, battle for 3rd between Bobby Jones and Tomas Saarinen. Now, Jones has been running well at the front for most of the race, but I didn't expect him to just pass Saarinen just like that. Although Christopher Cox, runs into the back of him. Luckily, nobody hits him. But, and the stewards don't really say anything to that. Meanwhile, after the drama of botched pit strategies, Matsumura is the beneficiary of Raven West's blunder as he takes the white flag on lap 62. Ahead of him are San Lorenzo and Rebecca Davies. He doesn't need to worry about either of them by this point. And, yeah, this has been a spectacular race for Matsumura. He closed in a 6-second gap on Amy Shelly before she was called down pit road again. So we're going to have to see where this takes. Though I'm hearing some more blunder pit strategies on the front stretch. I don't know who that's coming from. We're going to have to check back and see. Oh, and it's Yaname in trouble. Oh, this is coming to the white as well. Scott Roush and Lilia Severodov don't have enough either. And that's going to allow Shelly to regain 3 positions. She was running in 11th. That is straight up disappointing for all 3 drivers. They were all in points contention, and it was the blunder of their strategies were stripped away from them. Meanwhile, Matsumura only has 2 more corners to go, and he is home free to win the Belkan Grand Prix. And here he goes. Matsumura comes down the straightaway to claim his first victory since 2016 here in Belka. Yerman Sell and Bobby Jones will round out the podium. That is their first podiums this year. Splendid job by them. Saarinen will come home in 4th after losing that battle out to Jones. Masalela in 5th, Fullerton 6th, Shelly 7th, very frustrated with her pit crew, not surprisingly. Matthew Petit with his first points of the year in 8th, Longswat in 9th, that's his first points as well, and Yaname will luckily round out your top 10. Scott Roush coming out just short of scoring his first points of the year, Severodov 12th, Conway 13th, 14th, Davies 15th, Lorenzo, even that time penalty didn't really help him either, 16th, Lipin, 17th, Martini, 18th, Muir, 19th, Balcazar, and 20th, Lapticascola. 21st, Rasmussen, Cox, Bearcat, Adams, Lucius, and Kielshin. Running the top 26. 27th through 32nd, Kazi, Nova, Hamilton, Curtin, Saw, and Davids. They all had a very rough race, or very unfortunate events occurred to them. We now look into the Drivers' Championship. Now, Matsumura will have a 24-point lead over Amy Shelly, who sits 2nd. Saarinen in 3rd. This is going to allow Nova and to drop to 4th. Adams and Yermansell are tied for 5th. Tied for 7th is Kyla Musas and Christopher Cox. Bobby Jones, with his podium finish, will jump to 9th. 10th is Severodov, 11th Fullerton, 12th Balcazar, 13th Masalela, 14th Saw, 15th Yaname, 16th to Petit. Davids, Longswat, Lapticascola, and Kielsch round up your top 20, and basically your top 20 are the only point scorers so far this year. Davies, Mueller, Conway, Roush, Kazi, Bearcat, Martini, Hamilton, Van Gurion, Curtin, Rasmussen, and Schneider have all yet to score. That's because Schneider hasn't served his... I think he's going to serve his full suspension just after Spain next week. Parachi Racing Technology has a pretty sizable lead over Audi Sport. 29-point lead, that's a pretty big lead for them. Raymond West Motors, with Mueller failing to score, Shelly is pretty much carrying the team at this point. Crown Racing Ferrari, BMW Team Deutschland, S&K United, they're tied with Misaki and Ferrari for 6th. 8th is Red Bull Chevrolet, 9th is Stuttgart United Mercedes, and Newcom Motors will round out your top 10. Curtis Racing's point scores will jump to 11, Mazda Speed with 2, Volkswagen with 1, Levy Formal Racing, Tauja Racing, and then of course Jaguar Racing, all with either 0 negative points. The next race we'll head over to Spain to Circuito de Malaga for the Spanish Grand Prix. With new safety features onto the racetrack, hopefully we'll have a much safer run this time around. This is a production of TRN, and we'll see you next time.